So hi there, welcome to a new thing we're going to be trying on the channel called Fact, Fiend, Focus. And basically it's where we just take 10-15 minutes and just focus in on something that I think is quite cool or sucks a huge bunch of ass, and then we upload it separately because the tangents on our videos seem to do so well. So today we're going to be talking about a film called Warrior King. Also, yes, these videos will always be drinking videos, unless I forget.
So, what is this Warrior King you speak of?
Oh yes, Brad. Very well played, pretending that you haven't already recorded this video before because I fucked it up. Ignore the fact more of my tattoo is done in this video than the one that goes up next. Anyway, yeah, Warrior King, it's just this fantastic martial arts movie that I don't think a lot of people have seen, and I just want to talk about it to try and get people out there to go and watch it. So Brad, do you remember that one episode of The Simpsons where Bart wins a radio contest to win an elephant and then spends all day stood outside the radio station saying, "Where's my elephant?"
With Stampy, I believe.
Yes.
I do recall that episode.
Yeah, it's the episode where he gets Stampy. Well, imagine that stretched out over an hour and a half, only Bart knows martial arts.
Okay, I'm going to watch
Yeah,
it.
doesn't that sound like an amazing idea for a film? Yeah, and that's what Warrior King is, and I think it's known as either Tom Young Gung or The Protector, depending on what market you have it. So you might not be able to find Warrior King on DVD, but you might be able to find The Protector. It's the same fucking movie. It stars Tony Jaa, and it's just amazing. It's basically, the plot is, a guy wants his elephant back and punches half of Australia to find it. I'm just going to let our description sit for a minute. Like, this film is fucking phenomenal.
Right, so, Tony Jaa,
Yes.
what happens to his elephant? Why is he trying to get this elephant?
It gets kidnapped.
Right.
But he's got a big elephant and a little elephant.
Okay.
And the big one and the little one get kidnapped. And the little one is amazing because it's the fuzziest elephant I've ever seen. I didn't know that elephants were fuzzy until I watched this movie, because the little baby elephant is just covered in this like fine peach fuzz. So every scene this baby elephant is in, he goes up and hugs the elephant. You just see this, like, this delicate fuzz around it. It just makes me want to hug an elephant. Like, this film's great. Tony Jaa gets pissed, goes all the way over to Australia to find the fuckers.
Who is he fighting in this?
Everybody. To crib a line from the creator of Doom, plot in an action movie is like plot in a porno movie. You expect it, but you don't necessarily mind if it's not there. And, like, admittedly, it's a very weak plot for a martial arts movie. I want my fucking elephant back. But I still think, there's a lot of emotional resonance there. Because, like, Tony Jaa tries to act his little heart out, because I'm going to spoil the movie right now. And I guarantee that even though I'm going to spoil it, you're going to want to go see the movie regardless. The big elephant dies. And he cries. And we'll get to that, because it leads to, like, one of my favourite moments of the film. But, like, obviously, martial arts are the vehicle for, like, martial arts action. I want to give you a brief list, an incomplete list, of the people that Tony Jaa fights during this movie. So, he fights a transgender ballerina who has a whip, 4 giant wrestlers, a man who does capoeira, who mocap for Eddie Gordo in Tekken 3, a wushu master using a sword who he beats up with a drumstick. He fights an entire army of rollerbladers wielding fluorescent lights. He fights a guy on a quad bike who does quad bike combos. He fights a guy who is riding a motocross bike who does backflip motocross combos. He fights a restaurant full of thugs. He fights a expert in martial arts who is the, if I recall correctly, the stunt double for Spider-Man in The Amazing Spider-Man, and then punches him with a rope around his fist. And I'm not even done yet, there's more, because there's stuff cut from this movie, including a double fight scene where he fought 2 twin taekwondo masters that was cut for time. He also fights like a bunch of nameless anonymous thugs, one of whom he double knee drops through a glass window. And there's some other ones we're not talking about.
Sounds exciting.
Oh yeah. Also, as well, there is a scene in this movie where he fights about 300 people, all wearing black shirts, each of whom has one or more of their limbs snapped, in a montage called, like, the Bone Break Massacre. Where, because I should explain, like, obviously most martial arts movies are a vehicle to, like, for action scenes, and sometimes to showcase a particular martial art. And in this case, it's a rare version of Muay Thai that revolves around simple strikes based on the movements of an elephant. Hence why the elephant themes throughout the movie. And the idea is it composed of like short, deliberate strikes that are meant to disable the opponent as quickly as possible. And they revolve like about like arm breaks and shit like that. And the plot given in the film is this martial art was practiced by the people who protected the Emperor's elephant on the battlefield. And you'd have 4 people doing this martial art stood around each of the elephant's feet. And anyone who came up to that elephant got their shit fucking rocked. And there's a scene in the movie where Tony Jaa showcases why this martial art is so effective by just snapping every motherfucker's limbs.
It sounds brutal.
It is, and it's ruined by the fact they put in overly cartoony bone-breaking sound effects.
Wait, are we talking like...
We are talking like guy chewing on a carrot directly into microphone levels of sound effects, but it's still pretty good because like some of the people who get hit, you think, even if that guy's not having his arm broken, you would not want to be stretched into that position for any length of time. A game I like to play, whenever friends come around, we get a few drinks in, we watch a crap movie, I put on Warrior King. And when it gets to this scene, I get everyone, I pause it and go, everyone, get a drink. Because what we're about to do now is, we all have to decide, and you've got a drink when you think the person who eats shit the hardest is shown on screen. And there is one guy who goes up to kick Tony Jaa, and he grabs his ankle, pushes his ankle all the way up to his own shoulder, and then goes down onto his knees and stretches out his legs so he does the full splits. And I say that guy eats shit the hardest. But I welcome anyone to go watch this scene on YouTube and decide for yourselves.
Yeah, kayfabe breaking. I watched this scene after we recorded this last time.
Yes.
There's a guy who gets like flipped upside down onto a fountain.
Yeah, like what is supposedly a solid stone fountain. And you see the guy hit it with both of his hip bones at once. And you just, oh, it's so fucking bad.
And it's the fact that people get like, when you get thrown to the floor, they just add the crack sound in.
Yeah.
So you grab their arm and it just goes,
but,
falls over.
because you've seen the scene, we can break kayfabe for a second.
Yeah.
It ends with what I think every martial arts film needs to end with. Because like, loads of martial arts films have the moment where the lead person fights like 40, 50 people at once. But in Warrior King, they put in the thing I've never seen before, and it's where, at the end, Tony Jaa just goes, "Ah!" and they zoom out, and you see every extra he just beat up lying on the floor going, "Oh, my arm, no!"
It looks like when you do a theatre class and everyone's like being told to like pretend to be a snake.
No, they're all rolling around the floor like Homer does when he falls into that volcano in the Japan episode of The Simpsons where he's got wasabi in it. He's like, "Ah, my eyes!" It's just that. Everyone's doing that. It's fucking great.
So is that your favourite scene?
That's my favourite moment because it's so stupid. Because you watch this amazing fight scene and it just ends with just everyone going, oh God, no. You think you would not be rolling around screaming because that just means Tony Jaa's going to walk up and kick you again. My favourite scene is one that's just after that. And as I mentioned earlier, the big elephant, spoiler, dies. And the twist is he gets turned into a skeleton by the main bad guy. Because apparently having an elephant skeleton is a symbol of power. And they do it to show off how powerful they are. So there's this elephant skeleton there, or skeleton, as I think is a word that I'd like to coin right now. Trademark Karl Smallwood pictures. Or big wangers, whichever one you want to use. And Tony Jaa is just crying. He's crying, and what leads to that scene I just mentioned is everyone kicking him in the head as he's crying over his skeleton. And someone stabs him and he gets pissed off and breaks everyone's limbs. But
the bone breaking is after the stabbing.
Yes, but after the bone breaks, he goes up to the elephant to see what's going on and gets thrown into it by a big, huge, buff wrestler dude. And you think, oh no, is Tony Jaa dead? Is he dead? And he has a flashback to his ancestors, who were mentioned there, use that martial art to protect the elephant. And he remembers, oh no, wait, I've got the power of an elephant on my side. So he sits up and it just shows you in slow motion him strapping the femurs of the elephant onto his forearm. And they look like some Flintstones-esque bullshit. These giant, comedically large bones at the end of his arms. And he proceeds to just punch people with the elephant bones. And he punches this big fat guy in the tit. And it shows you in slow motion him just take it right to the tit. Oh, it's great. Because it's just the image of just Tony Jaa there. With in the Flintstones, they have that big stake on the thing that makes the car flip over.
Yeah.
It looks like, it's like something out of that. And he has it on his arm. It's this serious moment. And immediately afterwards, he just does a front flip, lands on this 7-foot-tall wrestler guy's shoulders, and just tangos him with these 2 fucking giant bones.
Is this meant to be a serious film?
Yes! Mate, his elephant dies. Also, yeah, the baby elephant, someone suplexes it through a window. And the thing is, I've spoiled the end of the movie, and I guarantee you right now, everyone watching this is going, I need to see this movie, at the very least, just to confirm that Karl's not taking the piss. Because Brad has seen the clips we're talking about, and he can confirm, I am not exaggerating what happens.
I mean, if all you've seen is like either what clips we've put in or what we just said.
Yes.
There's still, for example, you mentioned the rollerbladers.
Yeah, he fights an army of rollerbladers who wield fluorescent light bulb tubes.
And a capoeira master.
The capoeira master who fights in the water.
And someone being like kicked through a window.
Oh, yeah.
These are all scenes that you haven't yet gone through.
Oh, yeah.
That somehow fit into this film.
Oh, yeah, there's also a chase on a speedboat where he does speedboat combos. There's also, as well, you can't forget the catchphrase of the movie, "Where's my elephant?" Because every time, before any fight scene in the movie starts, Tony Jaa says, "Where's my elephant?" And then everyone looks at him and then just tries to kick him to death. And then he beats him up. It's fucking brilliant. Also, let's not forget, this film has a cameo from Jackie Chan's stunt double. Because they couldn't get Jackie Chan in a movie.
From Jackie Chan's
stunt double. So they're getting Jackie Chan's official stunt double into the movie.
Does he look like Jackie Chan?
A little bit. It's one of those things where you do a double take, and Tony Jaa himself he bumps into him in an airport and goes, and the guy strikes Jackie Chan's signature fight pose, and they look at each other and go, and then walk off.
Wait, is that scene's not there for a reason? It's just to show off the fact they had Jackie Chan
stunt double, yeah.
What?
This movie's the best. Also, as well, was a scene in this movie that's famous, so we should mention that, and it's the longest unbroken single take fight scene, and the movie is worth a watch for that scene alone. I think it's 4 minutes long, and it's only 4 minutes long, because that's apparently how long the camera they had could film for before it ran out of film, and it took them like 6 or 7 takes. So the story behind that scene is they brought in a cameraman specifically to film that scene, because they didn't think one of the Thai camera operators could hold the Steadicam in place for 4 minutes without fucking dying. Because it basically follows Tony Jaa as he goes up 4 flights of stairs, beating up 50 extras. And they brought in this special camera who's trained to use his equipment, and he gave up. He went, "No, I can't do it. I'm done." Yeah. And they went to one of the Thai camera operators, like, "Could you do it?" And one guy stepped forward and went, "I can, but I need a month to train." And that guy went and trained for a month to film the scene. And in that time, what Tony Jaa did is he went with the fight choreography crew and just put in more cool shit. So, but the idea that the cameraman had to train for a month to follow the action.
See, you said it was 4 minutes because that's how long it filmed. How awkward would it have been if you had like a few seconds at the end and you weren't able to get it because the camera ran out?
Oh, that happened.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, apparently the very last shot of that fight scene is Tony Jaa walking through a door, and they did a perfect take, but there was one moment where he was about to throw someone over a balcony, and they hadn't got it set up properly down like the crash mat for him. So he just ad-libbed for a few seconds, then threw him off. And that meant that when he got to the door, it cut before he opened it. And the director went, "No, I'm not having this. Do it again." And made him do it again. Yeah, it's worth watching the movie for that alone, just for the sheer scale.
Yeah, before we talked about this last time, that was the only scene I'd seen. Because it's like,
it's famous,
as a film student, like it was one of those ones you just have to have watched.
Yeah, because and as well, when you hear a story like the cameraman they shipped in from a foreign country who was trained to use the equipment gave up.
It's like when you watch it, it's not specifically the fact they had to go up the stairs. It's that person has to essentially do a dance with Tony Jaa.
Yes.
So they always have to be in the right place to film what he's doing.
Not to mention as well, like 4 different people get thrown off the balcony, and then the cameraman looks over the balcony to see where they landed. So they had to set up a crash mat, pull it away so the cameraman could get the shot to show you that there's nothing there, and then put it back for the next guy who gets thrown. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this is like halfway through the movie, and the scene immediately following that, he puts a rope on his fist and beats up, I think it's Johnny Wynn, I think the guy's name is. Yeah. And he is a choreographer and stunt double on the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Because that's his claim to fame, as a martial artist who does that. And he wears a snake skin jacket, and he gets his shit rocked by Tony Jaa doing rope-assisted 10-hit Jin Kazama combos to his chest. Fucking brilliant. Go watch this movie, it's great.
So the question is, do you think we've said enough to tell people, to make people go and watch?
I think when I say it's the martial arts movie based on the plot of a Simpsons episode where Bart wants an elephant is enough. But I'm hoping, at the very least, like, piqued people's interest enough to go, I have to watch it just to see if he's lying. And that's the idea behind this series, folks. It's something new we're trying. We've also got a new editor in. I'm not sure, does she want us to say her name? Well, it's going to be listed below. So our friend Nisha is editing these videos instead of Brad. Because obviously Brad's like focusing on like, you know, main fact themed content. So this is separate. It's not going to interrupt the regular flow of videos. It's just something new we want to try. Because we have a lot of tangents, don't we? And we have moments where we discuss things in detail that probably gets cut because... So I believe this was inspired by the video we did recently where I talk about real steel at the end. Karl's corner bit, wasn't it? Where we thought, yeah, people seem to like that. So maybe we should just do like 10, 15 minute long videos where we just like, you know, hyper focus on one very specific thing and just talk about why it's awesome, why it sucks, or maybe throw around ideas for like making, I don't know, like the thing we did about the Liam Neeson wolf scene.
Yeah.
Where we thought, like, how do you improve, what movie could be improved by Liam Neeson fist fighting a wolf? That's all.
The conclusion was everything.
Yeah, every single thing, but just a video per week, maybe two, if these things take off and get popular enough, where we just, the tangents that would ordinarily get cut from a regular video just get put out on their own. Because
yeah, like people who've watched the extended, the raw cut things you put on your channel, they know that
we generally cut
go off about 10 minutes sometimes on a topic, and it's like it's a shame that has to be
relegated to a bonus piece of content not everyone's going to see. So the idea for these is just like 10, 15 minutes, just focus content on a subject I'm passionate about or something I feel deserves discussion. And I think the next one's going to be us shitting on The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So at the very least, we've recorded 2. You get to see this, and you got to see some cool fight scenes, and maybe want to go check out an awesome martial arts movie. The next one is just going to be us talking mad shit about The Force Awakens. And maybe we'll do something else.
Yeah, and then people in the comments also, we want suggestions on that.
Yeah, give us suggestions, stuff you'd like to see us talk about, movies you'd like to see us focus on as well. Obviously, so these videos have been edited by a friend of ours, not Brad, so give them some feedback too. Because we've told them you have broad freedom to, you know, edit these any way you choose, so yeah.
Like if you go back to the first ever Fat Fiend video, you can see that the way that the style is now has completely changed.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have someone else have that same evolution with the content.
So if this is edited a little choppily or there's something you don't like about it, just let us know, you know, in a nice way. Don't be a dick about it.
And if you've already been a dick, go back and delete the comment
Yeah.
and rephrase it to be a nice person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think this idea's got legs, but that's all based on audience feedback, which obviously you guys can provide for us in the comment section below. And we'll be sure to read some of the comments. Not the ones that say maybe so-and-so is vampire. You guys can fuck off. That was only funny when I said it. Repeating things isn't funny. I say when we've already done this video before and have to redo it. And you know what? Still funny.
God.